If you watch my first reaction review of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, you saw me kind of go like, okay, I enjoyed this, but there was just something there that I just was going, why? What is it? What is it? I need to sit on it. And I did for about 24 hours, pretty much. 23? Who's counting? Okay, let's go. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here, bringing you a film review of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Highly anticipated movie because we're all kind of curious to see what they were going to be doing with the passing of, Chadwick Boseman, which may he rest in peace. And of course, there's the whole recast T'Challa thing that's out there, which I'm actually for, and apparently he would be for too, according to his brother. But it's just kind of curious to see what they were going to do with this movie. So here we go, guys. What do I think, after sitting with it a little bit, of Black Panther Wakanda Forever? Still liked it, but not as much. And the reason why, guys, and the reason why when I was like feeling like there was just something that it's because they put the movie entirely on Letitia Wright's shoulders, on Shuri's shoulders, and I think that's where they kind of messed up, because it was like, all right, we're gonna put the weight of the movie on your shoulders because there's gonna be a lot of grief that happens in this movie. We're gonna put it on your shoulders, even though that you were always like she was always like the good side character, and now she's gonna be shunned to be like this character right here that's like going through all this stuff and going through this story, and then we're gonna have a bunch of other stuff that happens too, and some stuff you didn't need. Some good action sequences. The VFX are definitely an improvement from that final act in the first one for sure, but of course, yes, it does get a little twitchy every now and again. I'm not saying it's perfect. Sometimes, again, just the way that Marvel movies could be shot, sometimes you're going like, what the hell is actually happening on screen right there? But there is some pretty cool action sequences in here. There's the choreography is pretty good. Choreography with what's her name? I'm talking about the bald one. I'm totally eluding her name right now, but the main of the soldiers that protects the king and queen, and she had some pretty good scenes, and so there's that. And like I said, this movie's enjoyable because there's a lot of moving pieces, and for the most part, it does well. But like I said, it gets a little bloated. The acting performances are relatively good. Sometimes they get a little too overactory, I guess you could say. Like Angela Bassett, as beautiful as that woman is, and she is the definition of fine wine, there's like one time where I was like, wow, you go, yes, queen. But then there were some times where I went, okay, bring it down just a little bit. Same thing with the dude who plays Namor, Namor, whatever, however you want to pronounce it right there. I mean, when it comes to him, it's like most of the time good, but sometimes, and it came, with some of the characters, there was just some times where it was like, whoa, dial it down just a little bit. You're at 11 right here. So that was some of the gripes when it came to like at least the acting portion. But like I said, the story moves along pretty good, but it is paced very interesting. Like there's just so much happening right here, and you got the Riri character and the way that she gets incorporated in the story. I don't really like it that much. You got what's his name, Mr. Freeman, Ross, Agent Ross. He's like in the mix, and it's funny because the reason why he's in the mix, because he's like, of course, he was in the first Black Panther, so he has a tie to this world. Obviously, they saved his life and everything, which ties to it. And then, of course, there's some other characters within that world that get incorporated too. And I just was like, I didn't really like that part. I honestly didn't think that there needed to be any of that. But then at the same time, it's like you have to incorporate that because there's the bigger world, and then you're going to have like Wakanda, and then you're going to have this other nation that's going to be like fighting with them. But it's just like, it just felt like there was like something grand here that they could have really done probably more in an Avengers movie as opposed to a single superhero movie. Talakan, if I'm saying that right, like I said, I'm not too familiar when it comes to the name or character. When they tried to incorporate all this, I mean, this is like a whole, I just think that they could have used this. I mean, again, it could have been just something for a bigger movie. But then at the same time, I get it when you have like these two crazy grand worlds that are colliding, I guess you could say. It does make for some good stuff, sure. But I'm just thinking that there could have been something. It could have just been fleshed out, I guess, a little bit more. I don't know. I thought they did a pretty good job for the most part. I mean, when you actually see that world, It doesn't, obviously, if you're going to compare it to Aquaman, which people do, I mean, obviously, what James Wan, yeah, okay. James Wan, what actually he put on the big screen when it came to the Atlantis. I mean, you just can't beat that. And obviously they were not going to try to do that. They did something different, which I respect. But then but at the same time, it's just there's so many moving pieces to the story. And I even said, and I still believe this, I said in my first reaction that they probably could have cut out like 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes. I don't, I mean, I get that. I'm not a fan of like them cutting out. If they think 2 hours and 41 minutes was the right runtime, then sure, then fine. But I just think they could have squeezed some of this other stuff. There's some things that were in there that I thought, why is that in there? That doesn't even really need to be in there. I think you could say some stuff, and I think they just kind of, a little too much on the grief. It's like grief, more grief, more grief, more grief, more grief. That's what it was actually supposed to be about. But I mean, they amplify the grief for sure, and it's just. Man, and I'll give some more spoilers, at the end of this video. But yeah, I'm just kind of going like, all right, maybe they should cut down on some of that stuff. I don't know. That's just me right there. I think it was just, I think they just had a little too much of it was too much weight on the shoulders of Shuri, the Shuri character. I think the way that they injected Riri was just like a little bit of I don't know. And then when it came to the final act, the final battle, I was kind of going like, all right, well, I mean, I guess that's one way to do it. And you could see like a parallel to a certain other movie that had a versus kind of thing to it, that the way it ends, not quite, but it just kind of goes, all right, now we're done. All right, let's wrap it up. So I like the movie, but when it comes to this whole, we're phase 4 or whatever, I'm still a Multiverse of Madness guy. I'm like thinking that's my favorite of this. It is better than Thor Love and Thunder, thank God. But, overall, it's enjoyable. Go watch if you like the first one. I mean, there's things that'll hit you in the feels. Definitely will. I just think they were trying to just too much on that, but, it's expected after what all happened. Spoilers now in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we got the queen that dies. Angela Bassett's character, queen dies, and I'm like, did she really need to? We're already dealing with so much death. We really needed her to die? All right. So, and then of course, when it came to Namor, the way that they had the battle in the desert, and she almost kills him, and he almost kills her. That was actually pretty cool. And then all of a sudden, it just kind of stopped, and then of course she's thinking about her whole celestial vision that she had, where Killmonger was there, which I thought that was pretty cool little cameo and surprise. And he was just basically, are you going to be like your brother, or are you going to be like me? And she just kind of was like, no, of course I'm going to be like my brother. I'm not going to kill this guy. But then at the same time, it's like, well, he does say, his last little scene is the fact that he wants to still take over the surface world. So even though that what I was saying in my initial review is the fact that it's like, this should be like more an Avengers type thing. I'm guessing that it's going to be probably something like that. Who knows? He's probably going to be in something coming up soon. He's going to be coming up in something. Some Avengers movies is going to be popping up somewhere. And then, of course, the mid-credit scene. There's only one mid-credit scene, no post-credit, which I stayed for, God damn it. But, the fact that Nyong'o, Lupita Nyong'o's character, she had a kid with, of course, T'Challa. So we got little kid T'Challa, and that's going to be interesting how they play on that. And I thought that was actually pretty good. That was actually a really good mid-credit scene because it wasn't leading into the next movie. It was just being like, oh, hey, guess what? Surprise, surprise. You're an auntie, Shuri, so there you go. And I thought that was pretty cool. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I got to say about Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Let me know your thoughts about it down below. Hit that like, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Join if you want to become a member. Got all the stuff around me. Social media, Patreon if you want to support that. All right, guys. Talk to you later.